Can I hold these? Can I hold these? I just love how I stacked these so that they are in no way conducive to me actually picking them up. Because right in the middle, I have all of these really tiny things, and stacked on top of them are super big things. Like, woo! Wobbly, wobbly, wobble. What is up, BookTube? It is Monty. I guess if this is going to be a wrap-up, I need to actually go grab the one book I read. One moment. So we're going to get to the one book I read in March. At least I think there was one. Let's check Goodreads, shall we? Oh, I did. I read a couple of things this month. Okay. See, I would have been lying. The first thing that I finished this month was The Mall by Megan McCafferty. McCafferty, there's a T in there. Sorry, Megan. This was cute. It's set in the 90s. I want it in a Goodreads giveaway just for full transparency. I don't know if you need to disclose Goodreads giveaways the same way you need to disclose when, like, the publisher sends it to you. The Mall, it's set in the 90s. It's about this girl. What is her name? It's like Cassiopeia, I think. I don't think it's actually Cassandra. It might be Cassandra. I think it is Cassandra. I don't know. There was a big thing about it being tied into the Trojan War, whatever. So we have Cassandra set in the 90s, right before she goes off to college. She just ended her high school career after getting mono, but now it's the summertime. She's working at the mall with her boyfriend. Her first day of work, she gets spritzed by a Bath and Body Works girl who is her boyfriend's new girl, and he breaks up with her. So the story is really Cassandra finding herself post-breakup, reconnecting with a childhood friend, and going on a kind of crazy scavenger hunt in the mall. It was kind of cute. There was some romance elements that I was not a fan of. I just didn't think that they worked. Overall, I don't think it's a good book. Sorry. It didn't work for me. It wasn't bad in any kind of way that was any of the other books I've read this year have been bad. I was just disappointed. And I think that there are just better books that you could spend your time reading, honestly. That's just kind of what it boils down to, that while the friendship aspect of the novel was really great, the will she get back with her boyfriend elements and the new love interest elements both kind of just detracted from that narrative, and it wasn't for me. Again, it's not a poorly written book. It's not like, oh, we're in the 90s and things are like questionable in terms of representation. Although I do think the book is pretty white. I think she goes to work for, I think the family is like Asian or Middle Eastern. I think they're Asian though. They have like it's like the fancy store in the mall that's like where the super glamorous people go. It's I don't know. It just, like I said, wasn't for me. Don't recommend it. I don't think you're missing out by not reading it. Moving on. After that, on my Goodreads, I said that I read A Midsummer's Night's Dream by William Shakespeare. We just watched a production of it in my theater class. Since we watched it, we had to do a discussion on it. It was like the first online assignment we had to do. I feel like I analyzed the situation enough to say that I read it. Again, I wasn't a fan of it. I do think that A Midsummer's Night's Dream, like, there's a lot of tropes and elements that you can, like, see still at work and at play today, which is kind of interesting, kind of nice, but at the same time, I'm kind of like, all the play are these tropes, and in 2020 I feel like I've seen them explored in ways that are far more interesting. And so shout out to you, Mr. Shakespeare, but I don't think that what you were doing was all that I guess it's inventive if no one else is doing it before you, but the way that people have done it since, I feel, is just better, so no props. And then lastly, I listened to Catch and Kill, Sex, Lies, and the Story to Catch a Predator. I don't know. There's a cover. You can read the subtitle by Ronan Farrow. Again, really loved it. Thoroughly enjoyed it from start to finish. I talked about this in that really long recommendations video I did for reading in the time of Corona. You can check out my thoughts there. I have really nothing to add other than I do recommend it. I think that for listening purposes while we're all locked at home doing other hobbies like playing Animal Crossing or what have you, it'll get you through that. Now, moving on to the things that I'm stuck with from the library, And who knows when the library is reopening? The library doesn't. The first email blast they sent out gave us a date. And then I went on the website just for funsies. And not only were they trying to tell me that I had checked out a book that I could not have possibly checked out, because when we went into shutdown, it was still in transit. And now it's connected to my account. And so I'm just kind of like, you better not charge me for that. I have all of these books that I picked up because in theory I was going to do in the month of March, Aphrodite made me read these things. So I checked out pretty much every book that I could that was even tangentially related to my good friend Heather at Aphrodite Reads, because Heather reads a lot of things that I recommended. Some things I say I love and recommend, and Heather just looks at me and goes, yeah, I'm never gonna touch that. But sometimes, as is in the case of like Emergency Contact, you know, like things work out really well for Heather. Other times, Heather is like, this book is the best book of all time, like last year with House of Salt and Sorrows. And then I read it, and I'm like, Heather, this is trash. Or you could even look at Wicked Saints, and I was like, Heather, this is trash. Or you could look at like Vampire Academy, and I'm like, Heather, Rose and Dimitri do not deserve rights. But again, Heather routinely gives things that I've read and I've enjoyed a chance. And so I checked out a lot of things, right? And I bought a book. I spent money on a book. So that was the goal. That was the plan. And then, like I said, the world ended. And so the idea of doing any kind of reading vlog from my home, like, it's just not gonna happen. Like, the idea that I was actually going to be able to complete a reading vlog in the first place was questionable at best. Like, that was just... That was wishful thinking. The fact that I sat there and like mocked up a thumbnail, again, wishful thinking. But let's just get into these books that I'm stuck at home with, because this week coming up is spring break, so maybe I'll get to these. Probably won't. On to the things that I said that I would read because of Heather. First up was Library of the Unwritten by A.G. Hackwith. Yeah, I just know this is blurbed by Shauna McGuire. I didn't like Shauna McGuire when I was reading the Spider-Gwen stories they wrote, but who knows, maybe the actual novel that she didn't write and just blurbed will be fine. Then I picked up a couple of Katie Henry books, so I caught Let's Call It a Doomsday, fun times, and Heretics Anonymous. I don't know what this is about at all. I know that I watched Heather talk about it several times. I was just on a stream where Heather was talking about this. I'll leave those linked up above too. I know I didn't upload any of my own content this past week, but on Wednesday I was on a stream with B, Heather, and Carly. It got real messy. It was real drama filled, so that's like 2 hours of goodness. And then yesterday on Sunday, I was on a stream with Chandler, Heather, Carly, and a bunch of other people. I don't know at the time of filming this because I'm filming it on Saturday night, but I know that there will be other creators. So that'll be a fun stream full of book recommendations and things to go check out. So yeah, plugs there. And then Heretics Anonymous, I believe, is about a kid who like transfers to a Catholic school and he makes friends with all of the kind of outcasts you find there. So I think there's like gay representation, Jewish representation, and a female character that wants to be a priest. I think that's what's going on here. I got Lifestyles of Gods and Monsters by Emily Robertson. I wanted to check out Aphrodite Made Me Do It, but my library didn't have it, and I figured this was the closest Greek example that would kind of fit in there. I got The Picture of Dorian Gray by Oscar Wilde, because one, it's short-ish. It's under 200 pages. No, it's not. Well, those are endnotes. It's 207 pages. Close enough. But yeah, so I got this because Heather miraculously found a classic that she likes. Then I got The 100,000 Kingdoms by N.K. Jemisin. I did start this, and I probably will not finish it. Heather talked a lot in her review, or not a lot, but she did mention in her review that this book is the narrator speaks to the reader, and in television shows, I'm down with that. Here, not so much. I think that it could get better. It probably is a really lovely story. This is adult fantasy where the words are like super massive. But I just was not connecting to it at all. So I felt like a failure as a black person. And then also just, it didn't work for me. But I still have it. I can't get rid of it because I don't want any damage coming to it in the little library chute bin, and then I'm out the money for it. So it's gonna stay right here with me until we're good and clear. Or, yeah. Then I have Lovely War by Julie Berry, which everyone seems to have been picking up recently. This feels so thick, and it's crazy to me, because I don't think it's like over 600 pages. Yeah, it's only 468 pages. This is World War I, World War II, romance, Greek gods. I did read this also in January. I had it checked out. I read the prologue of it, and I liked the first scene that I read, but I returned it, and now I have it back. And then the book that I bought, I don't have the dust jacket on it, it's over there. I've gotten up twice filming this, I don't need to get up again. But I picked up City of Girls by Elizabeth Gilbert, and this was the book that I tweeted. I'll try to find that tweet and put it in here, where I read 15 pages of it, and I really, really, really loved it. Definite potential to be one of the best books I read this year. So I own it, I kind of want to get to it, I'm kind of, fingers crossed, will. I think that if you have already read City of Girls by Elizabeth Gilbert, I would recommend, it's another book I haven't finished, I've only read like 50 pages of this one, but A Well-Behaved Woman by Therese Ann Fowler, I want to say. Again, I'll put a picture up here. It's a story of Alva Vanderbilt, so it's a fictionalized account, but it has very similar vibes to this, and I think that if you're looking for something like this, again, it's historical, again, boss bitch ladies. This one has like a modern element to it where it's a character in like 2010 writing about the past, whereas A Well-Behaved Woman is just set in the past, like that's the setting. But again, I think this is nice. I understand sort of why Heather talks about it giving Seven Husbands vibes. I can kind of see that, but I think this is going to be, I think I'm going to enjoy this more than I enjoyed that particular narrative. And then I do, okay, I don't know what I knocked over. Hopefully it wasn't what I was trying to grab here. But I also do own Percy Jackson, so I might read some Percy Jackson, even though I've already read Percy. I know I like it. Who knows? So that's kind of an April TBR. I have no idea if this is at a different angle. It probably is. But earlier in the video, I got up to go grab these things. And then I filmed this whole video, and I was done with it, and I was like, hooray, hooray, happy day. And then I looked down, and I saw those books that I purposefully got up to go grab. So we're going to insert them here as other potential options to read for the month of May. The month of May, wow. For the month of April. But, again, I make no promises. I don't know what I'm doing. Like, the game of life, it's like, the points really don't matter right now, and the rules are definitely made up. But from publishers, I got Redemption Prep by Samuel Miller. Honestly, HarperCollins sent this to me, I want to say. Yeah, HarperCollins, Catherine Teagan Books. It's out on April 20th. It was in an email, and I was like, you know what? It was like just a random Epic Reads Insider email. So I was like, sure, why not? It sounded, maybe could be interesting. I don't know. I do know that Samuel Miller was going to be at Y'all West, but that's not a thing anymore, so like, I need to get to that super fast. Motivation just left me. And then I have Wicked As You Wish by Ren Shipeko, which is actually the first book that I ever won in a Goodreads giveaway. Which I think is funny because the mall I won second, but it got to me first. Sourcefire Books did not want to get this out to me in any kind of timely manner. So this is already out. You can buy a finished copy. I don't know. This is still listed as an ARC. It's been out all month. I didn't get it till like a week ago, but maybe it was 2 weeks ago. I can't remember. I think it was right before we went into self-quarantining and whatnot. So all I know is that this is in a alternate version of the United States. There's magic. I believe there's a queer character. I'm going to assume that there are some Filipino characters in this, or at least characters as part of like the, diaspora, because Rin Chupeco is a Filipino author. She lives in the Philippines. She's really great to follow on Twitter. If you don't follow them, definitely would recommend. So yeah, I don't know what's going on here. I think Melanie read this. I mean, I know I saw Melanie haul it. I don't remember seeing a review. If there is one, I'm sure I will probably read it. The font in this is super tiny, but it's also a really nice. It's really nice for an arc. Just saying. But yeah, I don't know. Maybe I'll get to this. It's fantasy. Y'all know my history with fantasy. I can't make promises that I can't keep. And then speaking of promises that I can't keep, I talked about these at length already. I've already shown them in videos, I'm pretty sure. But these were the 2 books, aside from City of Girls and A Well-Behaved Woman, that I bought. I got Crescent City, so House of Earth and Blood by Sarah J. Maas. I got 20 pages into this, and I felt that a character that I was really liking was about to die, and I only liked this character because I thought foolishly, that Sarah J. Maas was going to give me an 800-page urban fantasy with a sapphic love interest. And then I got to page 20, and I was like, okay, this sapphic love interest seems really powerful. And they're about to go to this meeting. And there's some, you've already introduced a terrorist organization in 20 pages. Like, I don't think things are going to work out for this sapphic love interest. And now I think this, it's because I ordered it from Waterstones. It came to me a little late, so by the time it got here, I had seen some fan art and stuff. And I was like, and all I keep hearing about is this Fey man and his wings and how he's an alpha hole. So obviously I'm not getting the sapphic content that I wanted. And it just kind of ruined it ruined any kind of momentum I had for this. But I own it. It's really pretty. Actually, I don't love it because this edition has a red, just a plain naked book, but it's not the same red that's on the pages, and that really bothers me. Not gonna lie, I think that the US hardcover apparently is white. I think that would be much more stunning with the red pages. But Waterstones didn't ask for my opinion. And then, of course, I have Chain of Gold by Cassandra Clare. I still hate how this book feels to read, but I'm pretty sure this is going to wind up being the edition that I read from because my audio hold is going to be up in 2 weeks, and I don't read ebooks, and I'm not going to buy another edition of this one. So there's something about, like, the paper quality, which is, like, it's nice paper, but it's stiff. The paper is weird. I don't like it, but I need to know what's happening. I meant to read this with Heather at some point. I'm putting this in a video so other people will know that we're probably going to fail this one. Because I think we're actually supposed to start reading this past week, and I definitely did not do that. So, yeah, I got it. We're going to see what's happening. Oh, I do want to say, because I said this in a video, but I think that this, like, official artwork is just super ugly. I think it's ugly. Because, well, for one, I think this, obviously, the brown girl is Cordelia, which, fine. But aside from being brown, she got all of the same European features as the girl next to her. And I don't know who the brown boy is, but I can tell you for certain that Charlie Bowater's official character cards, there's no brown boy. Maybe it's another Carstairs. Maybe Cordelia has a brother. I don't know. Like I said, I haven't read this. But I can tell you that there's no little brown boy in the character cards, and fucking the Charlie Bowater art for Cordelia, she's fucking yellow. So that's all I gotta say. Those are the things that I might read. I guess I have to set this on the side so y'all can... It don't matter, I already forgot once. These are the things I might read next month. These are the things. This one little thing at the bottom is what I did read this current month. And then again, those other things I mentioned. It's been a mess. I hope y'all are really hanging out. Hanging out. I hope you guys are hanging in out there in the universe. I got nothing else to say. So thanks for watching. Really appreciate it. I'll see you guys again in another video, whenever that happens to be. So until then, and until next time, bye.